Everyone has a different perception of competition, whether it be in sports, beauty, politics, power, or even talent. This is a documentary about New Trier students' interpretation of competition and how it has shaped their identity throughout their high school career.
Run away with me, lost souls in revelry.
But what really is competition?
I would say that competition is when you want to be better than someone else at like whatever field you have in common.
Competition is defined as a rivalry for supremacy or a prize, but what are the students of New Trier competing for?
What I feel makes New Trier competitive is the academics and the athletics. I feel everybody's trying to be the best that they are at what they are, at like what they do, and you're always trying to get the best grades, or you're always trying to be on that top level sport. So I think those two are the most that make New Trier competitive.
I think the expectations of the students and the community also, because this community is made up of a lot of successful people, and so that makes the students want to do better.
I think that the fact that everyone kind of is aware of how everyone else is doing makes it really competitive, and also the level system makes everybody know what's happening.
I went to New Trier. I graduated in 1995, and the first time I thought about competition was when I got my class rank. We would receive a number at the end of first semester of our junior year. You started to, at that point, compare yourself or think of yourself in comparison to others. It could be somewhat harmful because you could be in all 3 level classes, getting all B's, and you would be ranked in the bottom half of the class. And the real sad thing is that some students would play the game, meaning they would start to change levels. One of my friends was aware that an A and a 2 level was worth more than a B and a 3. So she should have been in 3 level classes but went to 2 because she wanted that A. It would give her a better ranking. So the ranking sometimes worked against the capacity of one's learning, that sort of thing.
Do you like how competitive New Trier is?
I do like how competitive New Trier is, just because I feel like if it wasn't such a competitive atmosphere, then like I wouldn't be so motivated in classes and like in my sport also, just because like the competitiveness is like what motivates me to like do better for myself.
Like, it's good to have competition, but I think it's kind of like, it gets too extreme in certain regards.
I like it because it's kind of challenging, but it's also really stressful.
I do like how competitive New Trier is. I really like competition, being an athlete and all, and I just think it turns out like the best in you, and it gives you more motivation to succeed.
I'm not really for or against it. I guess for some people, like it helps them like work harder, and for some people, it just like paralyzes them with fear.
If you had another chance to start high school, would you pick New Trier?
If I had another chance, I don't think I would pick New Trier. I'd probably pick Stevenson, because I looked it up and I saw they had a better cafeteria than us. And they're allowed to take APs from freshman year, which is kind of nice.
I would pick New Trier because it really gives students the upper hand on public education, because our teachers are so good here.
Do you think New Trier prepares you for the real world?
I mean, I definitely think it gives people a sense of readiness for the real world, and it really helps people to be prepared to really fight to get to the top and to succeed in life, whether it be monetarily or just get to where they want to be. So it gives them the skill set to really get them ready for it.
I think definitely it prepares you, just because you're like already in this competitive atmosphere for so long that like taking the next step to college, I feel like I'll be much more prepared for harder classes, and I'll know how to study for tests and like be more independent and responsible.
I don't think New Trier prepares us for the real world because it's a pretty sheltered environment. There's not a whole lot of diversity.
It's one of the top schools in the nation. It's like you obviously have a chance in the real world if you're doing good here.
As a teacher at New Trier, one of the things I noticed is that students sometimes will compare grades with each other. I think that, the grade is not a true measure all the time of one's, innate abilities, yet students will perceive it as such. I think that the grade is just, demonstrating, did you master these skills at this time in your life? When it gets, I hear students sometimes compare ACT scores. And I think it's nice to be proud of your score, but I think sometimes the sharing of that becomes a little bit of a competition, between peers.
Does your family play a role in how competitive you are?
I think my family has definitely played a role in how competitive I am with schooling, and also like how I have my outlook on life, because my mom has taught me to just do things on my own and be like independent.
My family does not play a role. They don't really put a lot of stress on me or pressure on me. I know that some other people have parents that really expect them to do really well in school or sports, but it's it's more like internal, like I put pressure on myself to do well. My family doesn't play a role in that at all.
Do you think the competitive nature of New Trier will affect you in college? Has New Trier played a role in your choice of college?
I think I'm very prepared now for college. At New Trier, it didn't really affect my choice for college, but I think it will definitely prepare me for college, just because, like I said before, it's such a competitive and strong, atmosphere that I think I'm much more academically and also socially prepared. I feel like New Trier already is a college, so I'm prepared for it. I've been through it already.
I think New Trier has prepared me a lot for college. I've heard many older friends of mine who have gone to college say that college is a lot easier now that they've been through New Trier, so I think they've really prepared me, and I'll know how to prioritize my time.
Yeah, I definitely think New Trier has given me, pushed me towards my choice in college. I myself am going to Creighton University. That's less of a party school, less of, it's sort of in the middle of nowhere in Omaha, Nebraska, but it's more academically oriented, and I think New Trier really helps push people to be focused more on academic competitiveness and success.
Personally, my experience was a little different because I'm going to play baseball, so New Trier didn't really have that much of an impact. But I think the competitiveness aspect will really help, and trying to maintain a good GPA, not falling behind in my classes, and it really just gave me a good example on how to be a good student and manage my time.
I ended up choosing colleges that were not best fits for me. I applied to Iowa, Indiana, Wisconsin, simply because those around me were applying to Big Ten schools, and I hadn't spent a lot of time thinking about colleges or what would be the best fit for me. I just went by what I heard in the hallway. So I just assumed, being this naive first semester senior, and being a little lazy with the college process, that if I just apply where everyone else is applying, or if I apply to a school that people are saying is a prestigious school, then everything will work out. So it wasn't until in the 11th hour when I realized that for me, a small liberal arts school would be the best fit. I think at New Trier sometimes, because there's so much talking about schools, that could push someone to work harder, but it can also work against us in the way that maybe we'll choose a school that isn't best for us. Because when we're in high school, we do compare ourselves, I think, a little too much to our neighbor.
Despite the issues we might have had with New Trier and the stress it put on the students, in the end, it's about the friends you made, the experiences, good and bad, that shaped who you are today, the education you received, and the memories made. So we wanted to know about all the good New Trier has to offer, and overall what the seniors can reflect about their past 4 years as we wrap up our time at New Trier. Overall, how was your New Trier experience?
Pretty overwhelmingly positive. I thought, and it was pretty great. I haven't had any great hardships or huge struggles or anything like that. So I felt pretty good.
I love New Trier. It was such a great school. I mean, there are definitely things that I like that weren't great, but overall all of the good things outweighed the bad things. And I love the people. The teachers are really great at New Trier. They care a lot about their students, and I think it's overall a great school.
What's your best or happiest memory at New Trier?
When I got voted the captain of the volleyball team freshman year. It shows you a lot that like your hard work pays off and that people appreciate it, and it was cool to be able to lead my team and be a part of something like that. It was awesome.
Hey, Mr. Otter. My happiest moment is just walking into New Trier every day and seeing everyone's beautiful faces. My happiest moment at New Trier is this one time when it was my birthday. My mom packed me a box of donuts, and my friends made me eat all of them. And I felt a little sick, but it was kind of fun, and it was a pretty good time, I would say. And the facilities really helped me out that day too. So thank you. TDS.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Hopefully teaching yoga in Thailand, just kicking it on the beach and living it up. Hopefully making video games. That's what I would like to do. If not that, then writing, like creative writing stuff. Yeah.
And finally, we wanted to know what college our fellow peers are heading to next year.
I'm going to U of I.
The University of Michigan.
Marquette.
Boulder.
Davidson College in North Carolina. High school's been a wonderfully happy time for me, and say that this is the prime of my life.